Boom, 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 boom. Green Day. I'm on such a Green Day kick lately. Boom. AOA show back with you live here on a Wednesday episode. Love seeing all the chatter in the live chat. TD, DJ, Robin, Raven, Mercury, Bird, Miss Justice. Oh my goodness, everybody is here. Appreciate you all being here. Live replay crew. Love you guys too. On this episode, we are talking about the Drake. Hate the Drake. He did a not so nice thing on an airplane, but I think some people liked it. Tucker and Vlad make a news with the interview and Super Bowl fun facts. I like a good fun fact. I don't know about you people, but I love a fact that produces a bit of fun. All that and more on this episode. Drake. So here's the story with Drake. A video leaked on the internet with him playing with his little friend there, Drake messing with his Drake. Video leaked early this morning, and that's what I woke up to. I don't know what you guys did. Now, I pride myself on journalism, as we're going to discuss with the Tucker Carlson segment that's coming up. I pride myself on journalism. I went on the hunt for said video where he pulled out his and played with it on a video on an airplane, his own airplane. If that helps you, it wasn't like a Delta flight. Or let's be honest, a Frontier flight where that's more likely to happen, right? We all been there. We're all paying for those $39. We're all like, it's $39. So what? So that guy didn't shower. What's the big deal? All right, it's $39. So that lady is de-pantsing in the middle of the aisle and trying to go pee-pees. What do you expect? It's a $39 ticket. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna expect certain things. All right, so we need to masking tape the wing a little bit. I only paid $39 to get here. You know, don't get me wrong. Those people on the Hawaii flight that were upset that they didn't have a door, I would imagine you're paying a lot for that. So I would want there to be all the doors on the plane. But when I hop on a Frontier flight for $39, if I get there, happiness. That's it. Those are your old pal Ant's expectations. I don't need doors. I don't need clean carpets. I don't need non-smelly people. I need to get there for $39.99. That is it. That is all I expect from my pals over at Frontier. They have set the bar here, and that is where I'm happy to be. Now, when I'm shelling out like $250 on Delta or American Airlines, now I'd like some peanuts and all the doors to be working. But for $39, I'm going to let some stuff slide. So Drake wasn't on. So if Drake pulled it out on a Southwest flight, would I call the police? Yes. Would I be shocked or surprised? No. Nor would I be upset. From what I understand, by the way, my man we learned of another Drake talent, which upsets me because I understand he's a good-looking guy, revered as an artist, and now he's got Now he's got an airplane in his pants, from what I'm hearing. This is what I'm understanding. When Drake pulls it out, tailwind. You ever heard the phrase tailwind? You move a little faster. That's what I understand happens when he. It's like a fire hose in an old, just kind of unravels towards you. From what I understand, I don't know. But as I was saying, I pride myself on journalism. And I said, I'm going to go out. I'm going to find this video. And I'm glad at least Sarah's enjoying this. Some Mercury snakes on a plane, Anaconda. Yeah, we're very good. You guys are on it tonight. You guys are all over it. I pride myself on the journalism. I said, I'm going to go see this video. I'm going to get this video. I'm going to capture this video. I'm not into wiener. It's not my thing, but I'm going to do it for the people. You know, you have to say that because when you're married, when a girl, when it's a girl's hooties, you go, sweetheart, I'm just doing this for the podcast. I don't even want to look at that girl's naked boobs. But the celebrity is now naked somewhere, and I have to find it because I have to tell the people. So that's what you got to take the good with the bad. You know what I'm saying? So I set out to find this video, and I was on it early. This was at like 7:00 in the morning. Could not find the video anywhere. Spent the entire day, for the most part, searching for the Drake, as I like to call this. I like to refer to the video now, the Drake video, where he, where he zip, and couldn't find it anywhere. Could not find it anywhere. So, and none of the outlets have it. None of the, I haven't seen anybody, if supposedly it leaked on Twitter. And now, all the other major news outlets are reporting this as allegedly, because nobody's been able to capture it. And, I get it, because when you put water in a fire hose, it's hard to capture, I guess. Maybe it's that kind of thing. I don't know. Yeah, nobody's been, there's not a screenshot of it. And you might be thinking, well, how do we know that it was Drake? Because the private plane that he was on it had a headboard. He was on a bed in a plane where he's filming, and there's a mirror, and supposedly a young lady. Earlier reports said young lady, later reports didn't have a person in it. But he's filming, and the headboard that's behind him matches the headboard that we know is on his plane, because obviously he's sent pictures and stuff like that, so people kind of know, his plane, and they kind of tied it together oh, that's Drake. So I'm guessing it was kind of a dark, grainy situation because people weren't able to identify it directly. But from the most part, they're saying this is Drake. Now, following this, there was a gamer streamer guy, Aiden Ross, and he's streaming, he's live gaming, this Aiden Ross, and he's friends with Drake and has text messages. So they're talking about it on a live stream. So he messages Drake about, hey, I heard you have an airplane in your pants. And Drake responds with laughter. Didn't say, haha, that's not me. Just responds with laughter. In fact, the kid, I think because he was streaming, playing some sort of video game. I don't even know. I'm assuming Super Mario Brothers 2. That's the last video game I'm aware of. And he records a voice thing. And so Drake says, I'm going to use that voice thing on my next album, because the way the kid said the whole, you got a big hog, all that jazz. So that's where we are. And so Drake didn't deny it. He just sent laugh emojis, and I'm going to use it on my next album. So again, I feel like you would deny that if you know, because the kid said I'm streaming, and I think Aiden Ross is a pretty popular dude where he's getting a lot of people on the stream. So, Drake knew that was going to go out into the world. The Twitter clip alone of this kid talking about it is at 3.6 million views right now. Do you want to hear what the kid said? I forget what he said. I might cut this, but I'll give you the gist of it a little here.
Can I see you, please? Can I get the link? Thank you. Hold on one sec. I'm gonna send him a voice memo. We were just looking at the shit. It's crazy, bro. God damn.
What happened to my sound here? Oh, fucking easy. Elon Musk. See, you give it to Elon. I must have ran out of battery. Oh, here we go. It's back.
I said,
bro, we literally.
All right, let me see if I can get you back here. Come on, Elon. All right. If it starts playing again now that I put it down, I'm going to be really upset. Now I'm really going to think somebody's.
You're blessed with your voice. You're blessed with performing. You're blessed to be you. You're blessed to be number one. But you're also blessed to have a fucking missile.
That's what the kid said.
I said,
bro, we literally.
So that's what Drake was wanting to use on his new album. How is J Sabs not our go-to correspondent? I believe she's locked herself in her basement with the video because nobody has heard from J Sabs for the better part of the day. So that's where I believe. I hope she's still alive. I know that battery type items tend to explode when you overuse them. So we can only hope for the best. But from what I understand, J Sabs is missing. I'd love to send her up there, report live from Drake's penis, because I feel like you could get I feel like it's so big it has regions. You know what I mean? Again, I don't know because I can't see the video, and I feel like appears like I want to see the video, but again, because I'm a journalism, I'm willing to lay it down and sacrifice it for you people. But I feel like he has regions. I feel like there's a northern region and a southern region and a central region. Like the moon, there's a dark side. I think if you put your phone on a certain side of his wiener, you lose signal. I don't know. I'm just, as a journalist, I could only ask questions. Miss Justice with a good point. Perhaps we should have a welfare check on JSAPs. I'm going to do that. I'm going to have a welfare check. I'm going to call the police and be like, Drake's huge wiener video has made it onto the internet, and now I haven't heard from my friend all day. Can you go over to our house and check it out? So all signs point to it's real. All signs point to, he's filming. He just kind of pulls it out and starts going to town on it. And I mean, I assume that there was other people around, and even if not, it found its way onto the internet. So it's clearly his phone. He's holding the phone. He must have put it out. I don't know if he's trying to move some albums or whatever he's trying to do. I'm not entirely sure. But the funniest reaction by far, the funniest reaction ever, came from one Louis C.K., who tweeted early this morning, "It's okay if Drake does it," which, I'm sorry, is downright hilarious. And that has 5.2 million views. And that deservingly so. That is what I like to call comedy, because for the guy who got in trouble of taking out his wiener and playing with himself in front of people, for him to jump on the next person to do that publicly so quickly, in a non-assaulty way, is just pure genius. It's utter genius. The guy is a national treasure with one big blemish on his record, that he can't control himself. Sarah says, so true though, right? It is kind of true. Nobody's trying to cancel Drake today. Have you noticed that? Not one person is like, Drake has got to go. We're too busy trying to find the video to watch that we don't have time. Even the people that would normally go to cancel, whoever the person is of the moment, they're like, I got to see this hog. I got to see this video. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. Mercury asks, who doesn't have blemishes? Drake's wee-wee. That's, from what I understand, it's perfection. From what I've been told from people who have seen the video, it is perfection personified. Like the most beautiful thing. One person I overheard at the deli today said, that, excuse me, deli guy goes, that moment when you first see your baby's born, and you first see, and you're like, oh my God, they're perfect. That's the moment. That's what he had when he was looking at Drake's hoo-ha. He was like, oh my God, that thing is perfect. Another person, when it came out, said, Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne. I swear, this is what people are telling me. This is what people are telling me. And yes, this was such a big story at the deli today. People are like, did you see Drake's dick? I mean, it's a big deal. I wish podcasts ruled the world more, because watching my local cable news this morning, they were talking about weather and some car accident somewhere, where if podcasts ruled the world, there would be somebody like myself up early in the morning going, we're looking for Drake's penis. I don't know. We're looking for it. We're trying to find it. We're going to get you a clip. Stay tuned after the break. When we come back, we might have, good old tripod, or as we like to call him, Drake, joining us on the video. So I don't know. That's just my idea for what I'd like to see in the world. But anyway, yeah, it's a weird, sort of bizarre sex tape scandal. It's really evolved from the time of Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian had to sign a bunch of stuff and release the tape, and there was, websites you had to go to. Drake was just like, I'm just going to put this on Twitter. I'm just going to put this on Twitter. I'm going to take it down shortly thereafter and cause a buzz. I mean, it's kind of strange, though, that it has caused this much of a stir and nobody has a screenshot of it. Oh, this is good. I mean, this is good. Robin added a third leg to his tour. I mean, people, we should honestly be sending Robin checks on a weekly basis. Did you come up with that yourself or did you see that somewhere else? That is so fucking hilarious. That was so good I couldn't laugh because I was too busy admiring it. When I read that, the first thought I had in my head was the entertainer is supposed to deliver the entertainment to the people. This is clearly the other way around. A third leg to his tour. I can't believe I didn't come up with that. That's the kind of line that's so good. I'd be screaming at Frank why he didn't come up with that if he was here. Whoever would be co-hosting with me, I'd be blaming them for not coming up with that. Unfortunately, I have only myself to blame in this situation. A third leg to his tour. The guy's a fucking tripod from what I hear. I mean, legit. Somebody had like a meme video and they had like a belt. They took their belt and they were like going like this with the belt, right? To simulate Drake on the bed. And somebody below wrote, and I'm sure this is a joke, but somebody below wrote, this is legit what it looked like. I saw it. I mean, and I was like, dear Lord. Because in my frenzy to find things, you're finding all the other stuff that people are posting about. Because here's the thing about where we are at as a society. If you're not on the news right away, you miss it. You can really miss it. Like, believe me when I tell you, I know you're going to be surprised to hear this, but we track stuff all day long because you have to. And you're probably like, we don't see it in the final product, Dan. I don't understand what you're doing all day, but it's the truth. Like we literally track stuff because stuff changes throughout the course of the day. Like, especially like with the Epstein stuff and the government stuff and all that, like things can be out there and then go away. And then you're like, I remember there being. So we're always on top of things as fast as possible, like as fast as we possibly could be. So I was on it this morning, like searching. And I'm telling you, after like 40 minutes, I was like, I can't remember the last time I looked for something like this and came up so empty, came up so empty. Like even the weird dark webby part of the internet, you searched or Reddit, you're in there looking for stuff. Nowhere. I mean, I couldn't find it anywhere. So it's kind of strange, it's kind of strange, the whole phenomenon. But yeah, I mean, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Now, I was texting with a Canadian friend earlier. He's not really a friend, but we were talking about it. And he's like, everybody up here is very proud of him. Like, I mean, the pride of Canada today on Drake leaks a video of his Wiener Day is beyond me. It's beyond me. Because they're all like, that's our guy. You don't see any Americans walking around with 3 legs. That's our dude right now. That's Drake. And he's got the pride of that nation right now. If there was ever a time to change Canada's flag, which, let's be honest, they really should. Boring. I'd like to get, instead of the maple leaf, we just get a big picture of Drake's face. You thought I was going to say his hog. I wouldn't do that. I would not do that. I wouldn't go there because there's kids around. But his face, and everybody will know, there he goes. There he goes. And then everybody will think that flag will never fall because it's propped up on 3 legs. You know what I'm saying? And that is a beautiful thing. It will change. We'll also change the national anthem to, oh, Canada. You know what I'm saying? All right. See, that made me laugh. It was nowhere near the line that Robin delivered earlier. Now, who said they might have a screenshot? Don't toy with my emotions here. TD Freelancer, do you have a screenshot? Can you send it to us somehow? Put it in the chat maybe, or email it to us, mdchmedia@gmail.com, or add us on Twitter or whatever. Send it on Twitter or wherever you can send it. Send it via email. The email's on our website. If you go down to the contact part on the bottom, you'll see our email. Send it over there and put in the chat where you sent it. Because again, the Hunter Biden stuff we found. Like we found the Hunter Biden stuff. Can't find the Drake stuff. Cannot find it. DJ Shenanigan with a good line. Redefining the term the Great Mountie. Yes. Yes. There's never been such a mounting than this Mountie, Drake. It was very, very true. I'm concerned for the people he's dated because I don't know. I can't imagine them walking right. I can't imagine. I feel like how you can tell if Drake dated somebody. They got a weird little limp when they can't walk correctly. I don't know. He might be a sweetheart of a guy. I hear he's nice. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I know I've heard his songs. I probably couldn't pick him out of a lineup. But I'm a big fan of his from his meme. I don't know what it is about his face, but the guy's on every other meme, like this meme, and then the meme where he claps, then he stands up and claps. Like I use a lot of the Drake memes. I'm into the Drake memeage. But I don't really, as far as his music goes, I don't really know. That's a little lost on me. So, boy, this is good too. Robin, Frank could draw it like a sketch artist. That would be great. That would be great. Do you either remember the time that I made him draw Ghislaine Maxwell and I gave him 4 minutes and he came out with like a masterpiece? That son of a bitch, another talented asshole with a big one. So I hear. I don't know. Never actually seen it. I'm actually very proud that I've known Frank for like 40 years and I've never seen his wiener. And Janine's brother, who I've known for not as long, but half of my life, I see his wiener 40 times a year. So it's, again, it's plus and minuses. You take the good with the bad. I wish I could see his less. But I'm very proud that Frank and I have never exchanged wiener glances. That's a point of pride between two friends for so long. Turns folks bow-legged. Yeah, that's basically what we're getting at. Huge. You can tell I got a big penis. It comes in part 1 and part 2. You know what I'm saying? It's too much. If Drake's penis was a DVD in the 90s, you'd have to eject it and flip it over. That's how big his penis is. Did anybody have Goodfellas on DVD? Because that's what you had to do. It was like, I remember it was like a big deal because it was like, we put the DVD on 2 sides. Remember? Because you would have like the side with the picture and then you'd have the side that the laser reads, but not Goodfellas. That was 2-sided and you'd have to flip it over, when you wanted to watch the second half, which was always right when Karen is hitting the buzzer on the apartment going, Rossi, 2R, you're nothing but a hooah. Remember that part? That's a great part. That is a great part. Drake's penis is so big that Karen from Goodfellas can hit the buttons on it because it has so much height. All right. Have we done enough for the Drake got a big penis jokes? Did everybody get it out? Does anybody want to get one more out before we switch topics here? Because I'm happy to keep going if you guys want to, but I feel starting to get that feeling like we've made it. We've gotten enough. I feel like for the religious fanatics that we have as fans, which thank you, I love you all just the same. I feel like you may have tapped out a long time ago. I feel like we're going to get a couple of comments where they're like, unfollowing, this is disgusting. We're going to get a couple of those comments. Do you know somebody commented on one of our videos. We had a video that's gone viral recently, right? And so one of the short clips, somebody got into a fight with somebody else and they wrote me and they were like, somebody's bullying me on your page. I'm like, no, first of all, do I look like a school marm to you? Do I look like I want to get involved in your argument? I'm a podcast host. I currently have 47 arguments going on at once. I don't need to be like, oh, this one's better than this one. Like, there's 2 people fighting. What do you want? Don't pick a fight. Like, don't comment. Nobody's forcing you here. I don't know what you want. What do you want me to do? Delete the thing or delete your thing or their thing? Like, I'm not going to get involved in that. You're people. You handle it amongst yourselves. I don't know. What are you telling me for? You know? And by the way, just so you know, I have the same tact with my kids. One of them comes to me and goes, the other one's being mean to me. I go, I have nothing to do with this. I'm a podcast host. You guys figure it out on your own. I give them the same answer and they figure it out. I don't know how it all gets done, but they're both still alive currently at the moment. You know, it's like you can't pick sides. I don't know. I love them both the same. I love everybody all the same. This guy's like, this person's bullying me. Like, what are you going to do about it? Nothing. So I'm not going to do anything about it. In fact, I am going to do so nothing. I didn't even answer his comment. I'm just like, the nothing starts now with the answering. It's just nothing. I'm going to mete out a conversation here of like who I think is right. And they're fighting over Taylor Swift. Just by the way, it's not like, oh, is Frank this or is Janine that or does Anthony have? It's not like personal stuff. It's something about Taylor Swift, which I could give a shit less about. I think we're starting to see the backlash with Taylor Swift. I think people are getting sick of it. I think we're going to see a bit of a crescendo coming with the Super Bowl because people, I've noticed this too, a lot more of the girls, like the women that I know, they're like, yeah, I've had enough. And I'm like, I would have thought you'd have been a huge Taylor Swift fan. And they're like, it's enough already. Getting a little sick of her. I think the backlash is just starting. I think it started with the NFL fans, the football fans. Like, I don't want to see this girl. I want to watch football. You know? See the play. I want to watch football. You know what's hilarious about that? In a football game, 15-minute quarters, so was that an hour-long game? You probably have a grand total of 6 minutes of actual action, right? The rest of it is just kind of standing around while the clock is running, while they figure out what play they're going to call. You know, the guy's like looking at his little thing, like, do you want Foxtrot, right? Bravo. And the coach is over there with a stupid headset and his fucking card, like, no, oh, you want the, you know, there's a lot of that. So what, you missing that? Is that what you're missing? That's when they flash the Taylor. They flash the Taylor while the stupid coach is like, you know, and the quarterback is like, it's 45-minute conversation on what play they're going to run. Now they run the play and they lose 2 yards. What was all the talk about? I don't understand. Like, how could you? There was a lot of meeting for very little, you know, for very little results. But the football people, they just, you know, I want to run my thing, you know. That's where it started. Now I think it's rolling into regular people. I'll be curious to see how many times they go to her at the Super Bowl. Although I'm pretty sure Taylor asked them to stop. She's like, you guys got to stop. You guys are wearing me out. You got to stop like flashing to me. Because the last time they showed her, it was for a Grammy promo, and she was like, "Oh, the like you could see it on the screen." She's like, "Oh, the Grammys." She's like, "All right, that's a reason to show the pop star of the game." But outside of that, it's like it's getting to be too much. Has anybody noticed that I haven't taken a sip of my iced tea yet? 28 minutes in. Also, have you noticed this? Take a look at that. See that? Michael Jordan flu game. I'm playing hurt. I had a severe injury on my knuckle. I mean, look how big that Band-Aid is. I mean, granted, it's a little Band-Aid, but it was almost a frozen Band-Aid because that's all I have in my house is frozen Band-Aids and bluey Band-Aids. I found this is the only regular Band-Aid I have. Severe injury. Severe. Playing hurt. I'm here for you. I wouldn't miss a show. That's not me. Me and Travis Kelce. We don't miss games. We play, baby. We play. I wonder what Swift is going to do for Toby Keith. Yes. Now she's performing in Japan because we know this because she's going to come back to the Super Bowl from Japan. But for people who don't know, Toby Keith died. Unfortunately, what was he, 62, 66? It was Toby Keith who discovered her. She moved to Nashville and like was just plugging around at school and gigs and whatever. And it was Toby Keith who picked her out of the crowd. And I was like, that's the person. That's the one. Thank you, Robin. 62. Boy, that stomach cancer is a real pain in the ass, isn't it? Oh, 62. Got diagnosed in 2020, 2024, gone. Really sucks. Really, really sucks. I like Toby Keith. I like that Red Solo Cup song. That's a good one. Again, I couldn't pick that song out of a lineup, but Cuddle sings it all the time, so I'm for it. Yeah, Mercury, that shocked me. I had no idea he was sick. I don't think a lot of people knew. I really don't think a lot of people knew. He didn't tell a lot of people. You know, he just didn't really. I don't know. He didn't tell a lot of people. The only one that shocked me more than that was Chadwick Boseman. That was even more sudden because he was younger. You know, I forgot how old he was, in his 40s, maybe. 43. Chadwick Boseman was 43. I still can't believe that dude is gone. But yeah, 62. Ain't much older. That's still pretty young. All right, now Janine has finally. This is supposedly Janine. I'm not entirely sure. Can't be sure. Could be anybody. It's not hard to create a YouTube account after all. Still not feeling great. Sorry, man. Now I don't know. She did tell me the other day she was feeling under the weather. I don't know if this is Drake hangover, if she's just watched the Drake video a million times, or if this is Drake. Oh yeah, see, yeah, we're never gonna see Janine ever again. Janine's never gonna leave her basement and the Drake video. That's the thing with Janine. She's just gonna be like, she's in that basement. Her family's like, "Mom, honey." She's like, "What? Shut up." She's just like, "Leave me alone." Just watching the Drake video on repeat. I get it. On the day that what's that girl's name who I love? Stacey Carosi from Saved by the Bell. On the day that her nudie video drops, I'm never leaving my house. There's no reason to. I'm never ever gonna leave. Shut up, mommy's having her time. See, she's good she's good in the chat. J Sam's, she's good in the chat. She really is. It's funny stuff there. DJ Shenanigans, Ant, how bad will Frank be if and when Trump wins? It will take some consoling. We're going to have to console Frank. Yeah. It's going to be a tough day. I think when his parents die, that will be less tough than Trump 2.0. But I have to be honest with you. I think Trump 2.0 is going to be rough on a lot of people. I think Trump 2.0 is going to be really, because an unhinged Trump, in the first version, he still had a chance to be reelected. There was still, I believe this to be true. And Frank would call me crazy right now if he was here. I believe he still had in the back of his mind, like, hold that back, Donnie. Hold that one back, Donnie. We still got to win a second term. Now, without that possibility, I think he's just going to go for it. I think he's just going to go for it. Yes, Janine, you think our friend group is tough now? Yeah, it's gonna get intense. It's gonna get pretty intense. But I also think a lot of people are just gonna check out. Here's the thing. I don't think Frank's going to be here on the day it happens, nor do I think he's going to be here on the week. Frank has carte blanche to take that week off. It's like a bereavement week. You know how when somebody close to you dies, you get a week off from work? That's same applies here. He's not going to be expected to be here. He's really not going to be expected to be. I think the election is going to be rough no matter what, if he wins or he loses. Because if he loses, I think he's going to still try and burn the whole thing down. I just think he is. But at least we'll have Drake's penis. That's what we all need to keep in mind. We will have Drake's huge. In fact, some people might be like, this is voter fraud. I couldn't vote because I couldn't get around Drake's penis. That's how Drake unzipped his pants in Maine, and somebody down in San Jose, California couldn't get to the polls because his dick was in the way. That's what could possibly happen on election day. So for all of our sake, Drake, you Canadian bastard, you keep it in your pants on election day. We don't need any interference. We don't need any interference. We need a clean runway to the polling places. We really do. Look at all these comments. Janine has done more work in the chat than she does when she's on the show. Look at all these things. Look at all these things she's saying. She's the only one talking in the chat. Oh, shit. Speaking of Trump, Tucker and Vlad. Big news today. Tucker Carlson comes on Twitter and goes, I'm interviewing Vladimir Putin, and aren't I fantastic for it? Listen, I'm not saying I'm not accused of being a little bit of an egomaniac or talking about myself far too much, because I'm certainly part of that. But this Tucker Carlson made himself sound like I mean, his back must have been hurting. His hand was hitting it so hard. For the love of God, he was just like, aren't I great for interviewing Vladimir Putin? Like, look at how wonderful I am, you know? DJ Shenanigans, you Americans are so blinded by propaganda, you argue about pointless things. You know what, DJ Shenanigans? Yes. I would agree with that statement. Blinded, yeah. I would say 80%, 70% of it is blinded. I would say a good 30 to 40% is like, I just don't give a shit about this. I don't know if is there voluntary blindness in that particular instance where you're just like, you know, am I blinded by this propaganda or do I not really give a shit? And a lot of us, I think, fall in that second camp. A lot of us fall into that second camp. But Tucker was like, I'm here in Russia, motherfucker. Aren't I great? I'm here to ask the real questions. And I'll tell you what, this Tucker Carlson, boy, he knows how to position a statement. Like, he must have written this opening monologue that he put out today. It must have taken him a while because he's like, while everybody else props up Vlad Zelensky, I'm here to interview Putin and ask the real questions. And you don't have to love Putin, but you can decide for yourself. And aren't we great? And oh, by the way, the cherry on top was, oh, by the way, the Biden administration was spying on us. Yeah, I have news for you. When you're contacting foreign governments, especially ones that are on the naughty list, you're going to get your phone tapped. And that is irregardless of whatever administration is in there and who you are and who you're contacting. You start placing phone calls and making feelers to foreign nation leaders, you're going to get a phone tapped. And that's not just Tucker Carlson or Fox News or CNN for that matter. That's fucking anybody. I don't know if you know this, Tucker, but we employ thousands of people whose job it is to keep their eye on that because it keeps down a little thing we like to call terrorism. Now, you could say, come on, Ant, you're blinded by propaganda there. But I'm going to stay on the side of, I like having our little friends at the phone company listening in on shit, infringing on freedoms, when people are calling foreign leaders. I'm okay with that. If I go and find out that the Biden administration tapped my phone while I was trying to call a cousin in Russia, I'm going to be like, no biggie, harmless foul, nobody got hurt. Let's all go home. I'm not going to be like, and they, with my fucking hair flapping around like an asshole, and they tapped our phones. And then he goes like this. This is the biggest. I fucking hate this guy. Such a jerk off. This is the biggest thing. He goes, he's like, we were spied. We're pretty sure we were spied on last time. He's like, but this time we decided not to stop. Well, why'd you stop last time? Because your phone was tapped? Where's the fucking hero there? You know, not all heroes wear capes. Heroes fight through obstacles. Just look at what I'm doing today with this. You see, I'm injured. I am hurt. I'm here. I didn't let a phone tap stop me from doing this episode. That's how you got to be, bro. That's how you got to be, Tux. He's like, we didn't stop this time, but you stopped last time. How is that a brag? That'd be like me going, remember that guy that knocked me the fuck out last time? Well, I hit him pretty hard this time. Well, what about last time? You still, let's go 2 out of 3 then. So he's over there. And then he does a brilliant thing. He goes, we've asked Vladimir Putin for an interview and he's turned us down. So now you're like, he's really trying to do everything. He's really doing it. It's Tucker Carlson for the people. It's like, give me a fucking break. Meanwhile, he goes, we're the only ones trying to get an interview with Vladimir Putin. Everybody and their mother, from CBS to CNN to fucking AB, they're all like, we've been asking this piece of shit for an interview for the longest fucking time. And now you can have this argument. Is it that Vlad doesn't want to go on CNN because he's not going to be treated fairly and he's going to be treated fairly with Tucker Carlson? Or is it Vlad's not going to go on CNN because he's not going to be treated fairly and Tucker's going to blow him? I don't know. I don't really know. I guess time will tell. All I know is I watched this whole video from fucking Tucker Carlson and I go, I'm going to watch the interview. And like the Drake video, I couldn't find that shit anywhere. I went to his website and it said, watch the interview. And it was behind a paywall. And he specifically says in his intro, we're not putting this behind a paywall. It's fucking behind a paywall. Unless it's on Twitter somewhere, because I went to Tucker's Twitter and it wasn't there. And then I saw that Elon Musk tweeted it, and that was just the intro part. That wasn't the whole show. I couldn't find the whole show there, unless I'm missing it. But I searched Tucker Carlson interview. None of that was coming up. And let me see if it's on the Tucker Carlson network. Nope. They have a post there from 5 days ago. So, yeah, I mean, if this is anywhere, I don't know where it is. Because if you snagged Vlad Putin, you'd think it would be up there. Now, he's got an episode from 5 days ago. Then he's got his Vlad Putin intro pinned to the top of his X profile right now. And no Vlad Putin interview itself. So I don't know if he was just, and again, I was like, I'll give you my email address to see this, but it didn't look like there was an option to put in my email address to see it. And I feel like the reason why I don't like a guy like Tucker Carlson is because I feel like he talks down to us. Like, yeah, no shit, Dick. I can fucking watch an interview and make a judgment for myself. I'm happy you're going there and interviewing the guy, that's fine, but let's not act like you're an American hero or that other people aren't trying. The reason why he's taking the interview with you is because he thinks you're going to go easy on him. Now, if he doesn't go easy on him and he pounds him in the interview, okay, fine. Then I will give you some kudos. But until I see that, I'm not going to believe that you're going to give him some fair shake. And by the way, for total honesty, because I don't love Tucker Carlson, but I respect the man for what he does, as I respect all these people for what they do. That's not an easy seat to sit in. It's not easy to be there and talk to somebody and have to ask really tough, hard questions and be in that environment. It's not. So I do give him credit for attempting to do that, but I'm going to pull that back really quick if it's just a smoke blowing session, Like if you're not in there asking the tough question, because let's be honest, I get it. He's positioning things and everybody's propping up Zelensky. He says all that. And it's like, okay, you got a seedling of truth in all these. But the fact of the matter is, like, seedling of truth, meaning, is American media pumping up Vlad Zelensky? Yeah, sure. But is it because he's part of a itty bitty little country that is being attacked by a really big country for seemingly no reason? Yeah, that's what it is. That's basically what it is. Paul says they don't deserve any respect. Robin agrees. I respect that you guys say that. I get it. But again, it's like it's like a cop. Like, are there bad cops? Yeah. Do bad cops show up on the news for doing bad things? Yes, they do. But, a cop will still look at that bad cop and go, like, he shouldn't have done that, but I know how hard it is to be a cop. It's kind of, I've been in weird situations where it's like, I do respect that ability, because listen, it could be Tucker, it could be Don Lemon. I wish I could name some real journalists right now, figure out some Matt Taibbi, like whoever it is, to walk in there and be like, I'm going to interview this guy. That's not an easy thing to do. A lot of things could go wrong. and a lot of things could just go not great. You know, I respect the attempt, but not to the degree that he wants. You know, I'm not buying his bullshit, which is what kills me all at the end of the day is people who go, don't believe that bullshit over there, as they're just spewing their own bullshit. Like, well, you know, you're spewing bullshit too. Let's call it like it is, Tucker. Let's all just be happy he dropped the bow tie shtick. Oh, that was a fucking rough era. That was a rough era. But anyway, you know, we're propping up Zelensky because we feel for him. We feel for his country. You know, he's got innocent people running around, and I don't really give a shit how much people want to talk about, you know, Putin is just defending himself against NATO and he's worried about them joining and NATO coming in and taking him out and all that stuff. Fuck you. That's the biggest load of propaganda I have ever heard, you know, because that's a reason to arm your border. That's a reason to double down on intelligence. That's a reason to arm your capital, to increase security for, you know, if you feel that way, then take the precautions to protect yourself. And I'm sorry, but invading the Ukraine is just not it. It's just not it. Who's the bigger dick, Tucker or Drake's buddy? That's tough, man. That's tough because Tucker is a huge dick. Huge dick. Huge dick. But that Drake, they charge him when he does fly commercial. They charge him for extra baggage just for that cock piece of his. They give him the old extra. You're going to have to pay him more to bring that on the plane, sir. That's how big that dick is. I'm telling you what. But, you know, listen, for the people that are like, you know, Tucker Carlson shouldn't be doing this. I just don't buy it. Like, he should. And he can do it. He's a journalist. He can do it. I just wish he doesn't blow it by blowing smoke up Vladimir Putin's ass. Now, listen, you're going to have to butter him up. Again, I've done interviews, never like a state person, you know, head of state like that. But you got to butter people up sometimes to get to the good stuff, you know? So I'm prepared to give him a few minutes up at the top to get the whole thing going. But at some point you got to really get in there and ask the tough questions, or else you will have less respect from me than you already do have. You know what I mean? Because you got to get in there and ask the questions. Nobody should be afraid of it. Nobody should be afraid to hear from Vladimir Putin. But like, let's be honest, like nobody is censoring Vladimir Putin here. They're just not. Like if Vladimir Putin is like, we have the internet now. You know what I'm saying? Like we have Twitter. Like we're gonna get that information. Is it gonna be mainstream news? Maybe not. But we're gonna find that information out some way, shape, or form. And again, as a person who digs around and looks at this stuff, I have not seen a thing from Vladimir Putin that says, oh, you know, he had to do what he had to do here. No, it just doesn't exist. And to be further blunt with everybody, the truth of the matter is Tucker Carlson is trying to grow a show from nothing. And this is a major news coup. And he is going to pick up a lot of followers and subscribers just by doing this. And that alone is the only reason why he is doing it. He's not doing it to be a star-spangled patriot. He's not doing it for journalism's sake. He's doing it for clout, and he's doing it for his own ego. Bottom line, done. That is it. You will never convince me otherwise. Never. He's out there going, I'm the only one of it. Every CNN, CBS, they all were like, we have been asking to get Vladimir Putin on since this war started. He will not come on any of our networks, you know? And if you really want to answer the tough questions, you don't take the interviews with the people who you think will give you a break. You take the interviews with the people who you think are going to give you a hard time. And that's the truth. And that is the absolute truth. So that's my feeling on the Tucker interview. Again, I think it's kind of scumbaggy that it is behind a paywall. I didn't hear, like, if he was going to release it somewhere, you'd think he would say, hey, it's going to come out everywhere on this date, which makes me believe that it's probably on his site right now. It's probably behind the paywall. And in a day or two, he'll put it out for everybody. So what he does, I will watch it, and I'll give you my thoughts on it. I mean, of course, you can watch it yourself, but if you don't want to watch it, I'll be here to give you my thoughts on it. As early as Friday and as late as Monday. I'm not going to give a shit about this next Wednesday. A week from this has got a time limit on it. Okay, this has got a time limit. A week from now, I am not going to give a shit. I am just not. Paul says Tucker spread Russian propaganda for years. Robin says if Russia takes over Ukraine, we'll be adding U.S. military to all countries bordering. Yeah, it would be bad. But again, I've talked about this on the show before. This has been the longest war where people are getting bored. Like, you got to like actively, like, is this still a war? Like, the news doesn't give a shit anymore. It's not front page news. You know, I don't remember the last time Vlad's done a media tour over here. That's kind of quieted down. It's just not a story anymore. And it's like, either you're taking over the country or you're not. I mean, at some point, you got to be like, we lost this one. Let's go home. You can't just be occasionally throwing a bomb around going, hey, we're still doing our best. I just don't buy it. You know, I just don't buy it. But I feel for the people of Ukraine because they really, you know, again, Russia has every right to arm their border and protect themselves. The second you go into a country, I believe, listen, does one country have a right to invade another country to protect themselves? Before something happens? Yeah. But you're going to have to show a lot of evidence for that. And I don't think Putin has any. Nor did we back in the old Iraq days. So let's just leave it there. Yeah, I mean, it's a good point too, Paul. It's not like, let's not pretend Putin is a president that is up for re-election every 4 years. The guy goes up for re-election when he feels like it, opens and closes the polls when he feels like it, and then congratulations himself on another win when he feels like it. You know what I mean? So it's not like the guy is known to be carry that old truth flag around. So, you know, good point, Paul. He's just not a truthful person to begin with, which is why you need somebody serious to go in there, which is why this Tucker Carlson should be taken to task if he goes in there and does a fluff interview. He should get fucking hammered for not doing a good job. That's why it's a big pressure situation. Because if you do fuck it up, you've really fucked something up. You've really given a platform to somebody who played you. You know what I mean? And it's not something you want to be doing because you are playing with lives. You know, you're really playing with lives there. Now, and this is a bad thing. The European Union wants to censor him. I'm starting to see this thing come across everywhere that they want, like, don't do that. That you're playing into his hands. You know, you're just fucking playing into his hands by doing that. Stop doing that shit. Stop trying to censor people and just let them make an ass out of themselves. That's my final thought on Tucker and Vlad. Super Bowl fun facts. Damn it, I am excited to read you some fun facts. And I have a slew of them. I mean, I joke around about loving fun facts. I friggin' love a fun fact. And I really love a Super Bowl fun fact because with football in general, people get utterly ridiculous. I mean, absurd. With sports in general. That's why we have the term fanatic. It's somebody who has just completely lost their mind and logic has left the building. And that's what I love about football and sports. And that's what I'm looking forward to with these Super Bowl fun facts. I think we're going to have a grand old time. I have a slew of them. You guys tap out and let me know when it gets annoying. Because I could probably go practically the entire night here. I could just keep going with Super Bowl fun facts. Don't forget to become a member. Link in the description below. In our membership area, you get exclusive content. You get some fun little add-ons. We do tons of little sneaky things here and there. We sent out some gifts over the Christmas and Thanksgiving break to everybody, which was a ton of fun. and secret shows, ability to come on the show and do some fun stuff. We're always like rolling out some fun little things in the members area. If we're ever going to do something like fun like that, we're going to go to the members first. So make sure you become a member. Link in the description below. Thank you to all our members who have been supporting us for the better part. I think we're almost 2 years into memberships. And that's been great for the support all this time. We appreciate that. And if you haven't become a member, become one today. Be cool like Bird, who is the coolest. Coolest I know. Super Bowl fun facts. All right. This Sunday, Super Bowl, Kansas City Chiefs against San Francisco 49ers. Second time these two have met in the Super Bowl. This also happened in 2019 before the world went crazy. Kansas City won that game by a score of 31-20. This is the Chiefs' fourth Super Bowl appearance in 5 seasons. They're just the third team in NFL history to enjoy such a feat. After the 2014-2018 New England Patriots and the 1998-1993 Buffalo Bills. Those Buffalo Bills lost all 4 Super Bowls. Ouch, that hurts. Ouch. Chiefs won last year's game against the Philadelphia Eagles. That means they're looking to become the first back-to-back Super Bowl champs since the Patriots did it in 03-04. Kansas City's other 2 Super Bowls this half a decade include the 2019 victory over the 49ers and the 2020 loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is the 49ers' second Super Bowl appearance in 5 seasons. Their third in the past 12. Prior to their loss to the Chiefs in 2019, San Francisco lost to the Baltimore Ravens at the end of the 2012 season. The Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes is the first player at his position ever to start 4 different Super Bowls at the age before the age of 30. He won his first title when he was 24, and now is seeking his third ring at 28. That's pretty good. Let me see. He combined wins. Let me see. Chiefs coach Andy Reid is just the 4th coach in NFL history to make at least 5 Super Bowl appearances. Prior to his title bids in Kansas City, Reid led the Eagles to a Super Bowl in 2004 when the Patriots won. That Tom Brady, man. Kyle Shanahan is seeking his first Super Bowl title after previously appearing in 2, first as the Atlanta Falcons offensive coordinator in 16, and of course in 19 when he lost to the Chiefs. Shanahan, like Reid, has long been lauded for designing one of the NFL's most reliable offenses. In his last 5 years, the 49ers have finished with a top 5 scoring offense 3 times and a top 10 yardage output 4 times. If the 49ers were to beat the Chiefs, they would tie the Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers for the most Super Bowl titles with 6. Fun fact. San Francisco will be the first team to have 5 different Super Bowls starting quarterbacks, with current quarterback Brock Purdy following Jimmy Garoppolo in 19, Colin Kaepernick in 2012, Steve Young in 94, and Joe Montana in 81, 84, and 88 through 89. Purdy is the 3rd youngest quarterback to start the Super Bowl in NFL history. He turns 24 on December. This is maybe one of the funnest facts. Brock Purdy, was the 262nd draft pick in the 2022 NFL draft. How many draft picks are there? And 262. He was selected last. That distinguished honor has been donned Mr. Irrelevant. He became the quarterback for the 49ers after injuries to Jimmy Garoppolo and the former number 3 overall pick, Trey Lance. So this would be, I believe, the first time Mr. Irrelevant, last pick in the draft, could possibly win a Super Bowl, which is pretty unique. Brock Purdy was statistically the most efficient QB in the NFL this year, pacing all starters in yards attempted while finishing top 5 in yards, TDs, and passer rating. Travis Kelce already has the most catches in NFL playoff history with 156, passing 49ers legend Jerry Rice. He also has the second most receiving yards, 1,810, and touchdowns, 19, trailing only the Hall of Famer Jerry Rice. That's pretty good. Let me see here. What was the other one I really wanted to get to? These are two real, like, these are the top teams going at it. Baltimore would have probably been better to get there. They're probably a little bit more. But these guys are good. They're in the top in all their class. I found this to be all right. So kickoff is at 6:30, just so you guys know. It's going to be at Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. It's the first time that Nevada has hosted the Super Bowl. Nickelodeon's going to broadcast its own kid and family-friendly version of the Super Bowl, featuring virtual effects, special guests, and interactions with characters from shows like SpongeBob SquarePants and Dora the Explorer. Super Bowl is also going to be broadcast on CBS and available to stream on Paramount Plus, which is interesting because I feel like for the first time ever, there are people that might not have regular television and they just have streaming services. This is, I think, maybe the most fascinating. The Chiefs are going to wear their home red uniforms, which they also used when they won the Super Bowl against the 49ers back in 2019. And the San Francisco 49ers are going to wear their away white jerseys. Teams wearing white have gone 16-3 in the past 19 Super Bowls. So how do you judge that stat? If you're wearing white, there's a good chance you'll win 16-3. But one of those three losses was indeed the San Francisco 49ers back in 2019. I don't know who to bet on. And I love betting on shit like that. I would like if the 49ers didn't lose in their whites, I would be betting on them right now, just off of 16-3 teams in white over the last couple of years. I love a stat and a fun fact like that. Love it. Love it. Let's get into, let me see here. Usher obviously headlining the halftime show. Country music sensation Reba McEntire will perform the national anthem. Ticket prices for the Super Bowl right now, the cheapest, according to yesterday morning, was $5,700 for a seat. This is up in the third deck of Allegiant Stadium. Those prices are expected to go way through the roof. Some people are saying up to $75,000 for a ticket. Obviously, that's going to be a better ticket. Looking back at the history of the Super Bowl, the inaugural event back in 1967 had an average ticket price of $6. So we have come pretty far. By the way, Kansas City Chiefs were in that Super Bowl. Financial incentives for playing a significant role in the Super Bowl. Players on the winning team each receive $157,000 bonus. Even on the losing team, if you're in the Super Bowl, you get $82,000. That stuff helps, man. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much you're making. Even on a losing side, a boost of $82,000. I know a lot of people that would take that. Logistical details, just to give you an idea of the scale of this event. Each team competing receives 108 footballs, 54 designated for practice, 54 reserved for games, for the game balls themselves. This is so that they can have continuous play. So each team prepares their own footballs. Tom Brady. 108 footballs per team, 216 footballs will be in that stadium total. Commercial prices, everybody loves to talk about that too, right? Super Bowl brings a big spectacle. A 30-second spot for TV right now is set to be going for $7 million. Believe it or not, that's not the price of the Super Bowl commercial hasn't really gone up much in the last couple of years. It really hasn't. It's all been around that $5, $6, $7 million mark. How many chicken wings will we eat on Super Bowl Sunday? According to reports, 1.4 billion chicken wings will be devoured in that one day. Not a good time to be a chicken. Not a good time to be Drake's underwear either. That's a strenuous, I mean, you're just really trying to keep it all together. Could you imagine? That's all I got. Any fun questions? I took a fun question earlier from was it DJ, who said, how's Frank going to be to deal with on election day? I will take a couple of quick questions if anybody has something that they have been forever wondering about. 104 minutes, hour and 4 minutes into this podcast, and I'm going to take my first sip of liquid. A lot of people saying, is Travis Kelce going to propose in the Super Bowl? No, I don't think so. I don't think that's happening. Paul, maybe Usher should pull his pants down for the halftime show. Go back to the wardrobe malfunction. You think that's the move? I don't know. I don't know if we can handle another wardrobe malfunction. You know what I'm saying? That was a lot. That was a lot to go through. I mean, it was great seeing what's her name's Hootie, but all the bullshit we had to deal with afterwards, especially in the radio world, it was bad. It was really, really bad. A lot of censorship that followed that whole spectacle. And then the guy who yanked the chain there, Justin Timberlake, he got invited back. That's fucking crazy. Maybe on Friday's episode before the Super Bowl, we'll do best halftime show talk. Maybe we'll do that. There was also some talk about, I'm trying to get J Sabs, she's under the weather, but I'm trying to get J Sabs to throw a recipe together for a little Super Bowl recipe for everybody. Because we were talking the other day about what snacks we were getting prepared for the Super Bowl. Because that's Snacker Bowl to me. Super Bowl, maybe. Snacker Bowl, yes. I got to have good snacks. Got to have the snack situation situated, if you will. And so we were talking about it. We were texting in the podcast text. And what happened was Cuddles accidentally asked me what I wanted. She wants a final list from me because she knows I get moody if I don't get the right snacks. So she wants to avoid that. So she's like, what do you want me to make? And she put it in the podcast chat instead of just the her and I text. And so we started talking about it, and we asked Aaron and Frank what they were making, and they had nothing. Ill prepared, those two. Ill prepared. But J Sabs mentioned an item that is quite interesting. And I don't know if she's going to make it in advance, but I'm going to try and get a recipe out of her. To see if we could at least I'll get her to write it down. If not, actually film like a little cooking segment, because that would be the best. That would be the best ever. I'm going to text her live on the podcast right now. J Sabs, can we get a recipe for that item that you are planning on making for the Super Bowl so that we can post and share it with the audience? Thank God for text to chat. All right, questions. Throw your questions in the chat as we wrap things up here. TD Freelancer, Ant, have you heard the Ben Shapiro rap song yet? No, I haven't. I feel like we've talked about this. Did anybody send it to me? Please send it to me. I would love. Mercury approves as well. I would love to hear the Ben Shapiro rap song. Although I have been moody lately, and that might set me over the edge. So I'm not entirely sure. Paul says it's acceptable now. I'm assuming we're talking about the wardrobe malfunction. Do you think it's a Drake? Do you think Drake's turned it around? Is that what you're saying? Drake has made it so that wardrobe malfunctions are acceptable. I'm telling you, we're blurring the line between porn here and real life. All these people, Tommy Lee on OnlyFans, the teachers that are leaving for OnlyFans, the woman who was doing OnlyFans, and the school bit that we talked about last time around, the girl who was running for office, who bangs her husband on the give us coins site thing, that whole spiel. Like we're just blurring the lines. You know, pretty soon we're all just going to have our Apple Vision Pros on, watching porn, walking around, doing our grocery shopping, all that shit. It's just going to be one big porn set. You know, the Christians are going to hate it. Let me be honest with you. I'm going to be a little uncomfortable too. I wouldn't want to walk around in a porn set. That seems like a high probability of slipping and falling and hurting an elbow. Was Drake the hot sauce in the condom guy? I don't know what that means, Laura. Can you elaborate on that? Is the Puppy Bowl still on? I don't know. It's a good question. Do you remember when they put the girls in the bikinis and they had them play football? That was so dumb. It's always here's where we get our dumbest ideas. Aside from Puppy Bowl, it's the people who try and take on the Super Bowl halftime show. The people who go, I have an idea. We'll put this on in the halftime show. That never works. They're always stupid ideas. Girls running around in bikinis, hitting each other, playing football. That's not anything anybody wants to see. Aunt, do you like Dickens cider? Yeah, I do. Pretty much. Porn in Central Park. Could you imagine? I'm telling you what, this Apple Vision Pro, it's everywhere. I don't know how it is wherever you are, but in New York, and I'm not even in New York City. But I have seen two people walking with it, and even just like people on Facebook, friends of people on Facebook, again, because they're mostly in New York. It's just all over the place. People are just wearing these things everywhere. And everybody's saying the same thing, like, oh, this one's heavy. It's not that great to get, but just give it 3 years. Do you remember the first iPhone versus like the fourth iPhone? It was a quantum leap in comfort and ability and everything else. Like I'm telling you, bless your heart for watching this podcast, but I just feel like everybody in 3 years is going to be watching this on a headset. And I don't think it's going to be that big or it's going to be uncomfortable. I just think we are all heading towards a headset world. And again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist guy. I am not one of these people that are like, the world's coming to an end or this is the worst it's ever been. On the contrary, I think this is the greatest it's ever been. Even with all our bullshit and our problems and our issues and our struggles, it is still a great and wonderful time to be alive. Nobody will ever convince me of anything otherwise. That is how I feel every day when I wake up. That's the truth. But I can't help it. This virtual reality world is so appealing. I just don't know if we can overcome it. And I'm not saying that in a sense of it's going to take us down and it's going to ruin things. I'm just saying it's going to change things forever. It is so tempting because, like I said before, watching or listening to a podcast, reading a book, watching a movie, getting into a streaming series, they're all escapes. We all do them. I do them all day long. You go on social media for an escape, right? You watch videos on TikTok. You play games on your iPad. It's all an escape. To be able to live in that all the time and be the person that you want to be, to be able to mold your avatar to look how you want to look, to talk to people the way you want to talk. Just think of the shy people of the world and how much they will so be not having to worry about that stuff anymore. It's just far too big of a temptation for people to pass up. I think it's going to change the world. I think the world will still be here and exist, but I really, really think it's going to change things. So much fun flying solo with you. You guys know I always love that. I mean, I love the whole crew. I really do. But it's nice just to get in here with the comments and everything and chat it up with you a little bit, which I really appreciate. All the wonderful comments, everybody tonight. Paul, Robin, On Fire, DJ, TD, Mercury, Raven, Miss Justice, Sybil, anybody who's gotten a comment on, Laura, Sarah, everybody. I can't go back and name everybody because the song's going to end at some point. And that's bad when the song ends and I'm still talking. But if you were here and you commented, thank you. Please hit the like button. It helps us with the algorithm. Please throw a comment on the episode. Also helps us with the algorithm. Even for my live commenters here. If you pop back into the episode tomorrow when it's uploaded, when it's everywhere on demand, and you throw a comment in there, so appreciated. So appreciated. And become a member if you haven't already. Membership has some fun perks, and we got some fun stuff planned for you. in the near future, which is always an exciting thing. See you guys on Friday. We'll do a little more on the Super Bowl and whatever the day's news is then.
Show me potato salad.
Maybe we should go now.